Hi, it's Mike Hughes. Today I'm going to talk about branding in Microsoft 365 and Azure for your company and what that looks like, and then a couple little settings that are related to that so your users don't go rogue on you and start creating kittens all over their screens and have people walk in and see something that's not necessarily very professional. The way branding works, I'm going to talk about sign-in branding first, and this is one of the very first things I tell organizations to do to help their users to help their users validate that they're actually logging into the right company, because there's so many fake logins out there. You know, people are phishing attacks. They try to get you to log into a page that isn't your company. This is branding really helps with that, to help users have some confidence they're actually logging into your page. So this is the default, office.com login. I'm working with a demo account today, and the way demo accounts are, if you're a Microsoft partner or you want to go get a demo account, just go to demos.microsoft.com and you can get a free demo account and you can go play with all this stuff. So back to branding. On the branding side, when I enter a username and hit sign in, it looks at the domain name, the tenant name that I'm signing in with, and then subsequently goes out and pulls the brand in for that. So the moment I hit sign in, it's going to go out and say, what's the brand? And you're going to notice here that there's a background and there's a logo up here. And there are other things you can add to this sign-in screen, but the point is you can customize this specifically to your organization and what you want to see. This background logo is a picture, and we'll show you here in a minute, that is centered based off of the browser and scales. And then you got this basic little logo here. So I'm gonna punch in the password here and sign in. And yes, I'm gonna go ahead and keep me signed in for right now. And it brings me over to here. And I'm gonna go to the admin. And then I'm going to talk about branding here in a little bit, but I'm going to go show all and go to Azure Active Directory. Let that load. And then go to Azure Active Directory again. And then I get the list. I don't know why they don't just take me to here in the first place, but and then what you're going to see is company branding down here. I'll click on that. And here's the brand. Background image, banner logo, username hints not in use, and sign-in page text Contoso. We saw that down at the bottom. So if I click on this, here's that background image, and notice that it's a much larger background image than what we actually saw. We didn't see this brown at the bottom. And you can pick up to a 1920 by 1080 pixel image. If it's larger than that, it won't be accepted. The logo, 280 by 60. I've found that you can get away. You don't have to size it to this specifically. The same with this logo. It doesn't have to be specifically sized to it. The other sizes will work, but you can use the paint.net or some other application to kind of size the image. Grab an image from somewhere and get it the way you want. The user hint is like, it's a reminder for users for what size, what their username is. I recommend you don't use that. And then some additional page. And this, we had Contoso on the bottom of that page. It was a little gray bar. If you go back and you can see it down there, so you can add things. And then there's some other settings here. This sign-in page background color. Now we're using a logo, so we don't have a background color, but if you wanted a background color, you could. And then you have square logo and square logo. So these two down here are related to Autopilot and the out-of-box experience. So if you're using these are the logos that are associated with Autopilot primarily, or OOBE, out-of-box experience. So that's that. So that's that branding. Pretty straightforward, not complicated. Highly recommended that you do it. And now we're going to flip back over to the 365 side of the house, because we're in Azure and 365. You authenticate with Azure, but in the web apps, you're using a different branding area. And if you go to settings, org settings, organizational profile, you'll see here custom themes, and this little pop-up will show up over on the right. Now this brands the 365 side of the house, where you have an image in the upper left-hand corner here, which is this custom logo, and this is a 2200 by 30 pixel JPEG, right? So there's that, and there's the logo. And then make the logo clickable, and if you want to make it clickable, where do you want people to go to? Again, a background color that you want to use, the nav bar color, which is up here, the text icon, the accent color. So you can play with these, and creates the branding for your 365 Office Online experience. Now, one box I always recommend checking is this one right here. Prevent users from overwriting this theme. The last thing you want to do is take time investing in developing a company brand just to have your users do whatever they want and have this inconsistency. So highly recommended you check that. And then I also like show the user display name. It helps users to really see that it's actually themselves logged in to wherever they're at. Some of us have multiple 365 accounts, and for me this is very helpful, especially when I'm going from customer to customer to customer. I have custom usernames for my administrator accounts that show me which tenant I'm in. So it'll say, like, and that's not what I really do, but it'll say like M Hughes admin dash, and then the customer like company name, like a abbreviation for the company name. So that way, if I'm logged into the customer, it'll show me which customer I'm actually logged into when I'm jumping from console to console. And Microsoft has a lot of 365 consoles, and sometimes when you're bouncing to one, it'll pick up, like if I was in Exchange console for one customer and I bounce into the Exchange console again, it could take me back to another customer. So it's the way things work with the admin consoles. Each one is different. Each one requires their own authentication. So using this functionality is a really nice feature to help me make sure I know which tenant I'm in and where I'm making setting changes at. So that's it for branding. It's really, really straightforward. I highly recommend you do it. There's no disadvantage to it. There's only upside. And I'm going to share a link in the notes of this video that'll take you to the branding page, so you can the branding documentation, so you can read further if you want to. But that's it. So hope you have a good one. Talk to you later.